Hello and welcome to my tutorial on how to draw a starry night sky in coloured pencil. First of all, I'm just getting in the landscape shape. I'm going for sort of a pine tree look, so I'm just blocking in the black shapes and keeping it all quite vague, as it's just a shadowed outline and a black area in the landscape. I then go over the sky area with a white pencil. This is to get the really bright stars to help keep them white when later on I can go and use an eraser to lift the other colour off of those spots. I take a pink pencil and start blocking in the areas I want to be the brightest pink for the Milky Way. And I keep the layers very light at this point because I'm just getting the colour in, and I'll blend it out to get that colour into the white spots of the paper. I take a darker pink and add some more layers in that to sort of build up that area before moving on to the purples and bringing in the darker colours of the night sky. Once the purple is blocked in, I start with the blue pencils. I start first with a purpley blue and add in the shadows around the Milky Way, and then go over the rest of the sky area. And this one's good just putting down a light layer to cover in all the white areas so that I can blend it and get rid of the white spots of the paper. I then take a different dark blue and go over all the tree area to sort of give that a deeper black look to it, otherwise the black can look a bit flat. And then I also go over the sky areas, which are the darkest parts. With the layers all down now, I begin to blend it out. At the moment I'm using a blender called Art Spectrum Odorless Solvent, and it works quite similar to the zester I've used in previous tutorials. I am only using a little bit on the brush. I don't want to soak the paper with the solvent, as it will damage the paper eventually. I blot the brush on a piece of paper towel after I dip it in the solvent. As you can see, blending it out has made those colours look a lot more vibrant and removes all the little white specks on the paper. Next I do some more layers. I go through the light pink, then the dark pink, the purples, and then the blues again. Defining the area in the Milky Way a lot more, bringing out the sort of gaseous look that I'm after for the Milky Way. I also add more layers to the blues to further deepen that area. Once I've done the last layer of blue in the sky, I then blend it out again. I don't need nearly as much blender this time, as the extra layers don't require as much of the solvent to move the pigment around. At this point you can see that some of the white dots that I did earlier are starting to show through where I've blended it, and this is good because these will end up being the brightest of the stars. I layer again in purple and blue. I just keep building the layers until I get the colour saturation that I'm after in the area. I go over the tree line again in black. I'm just going to build that as much as I want to get the darkness that I'm after in the black. I'm not actually looking for a heaps dark tree line, as it is a bright landscape. You could do further layers to bring out that darkness. I blend the areas I've coloured in again, and you can see how much darker that actually makes it when the area is blended and the black goes into all the spots and blends with the other layers better. I then further define the area around the wings with the blue pencil, making sure that the feathers are nice and crisp. For the next part of my drawing, I take an electric eraser and go over all the little white dots that I did earlier, and this just removes the pigment that has been blended on top of those areas and makes them nice and white again. For the last step of this drawing, I take a white luminance pencil and I just add more little tiny stars and little star clusters into the sky to make it look more realistic than what the previous dots I'd done looked. I hope you have enjoyed watching this tutorial on how to draw a starry night sky.